Hi, this is Alonzo Bodden. I want to welcome you to episode 385 of my podcast, Who's Paying Attention? This show is sponsored by BetterHelp, the world's largest therapy service. BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, and it's available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. All you do is fill out a brief questionnaire to match you with a therapist. You can switch to a new therapist anytime. There's no waiting rooms, no traffic, etc. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Alonzo. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Alonzo. So here we are, episode 385, and for now, the final episode of my podcast, Who's Paying Attention? I really want to thank you guys who have listened. Many have listened over the years. Some have just found it and have gone back and listened to past episodes. I'm getting a lot of support and emails saying don't stop it. And it may come back, or I may get back to a podcast under a different name. But as I said, right now, the Young Turks Rebel HQ videos are getting a lot more traction. The videos and my commentary can be found on my Facebook page or my Instagram, which is so funny. People like it. Times change, things change, and the podcast isn't necessarily working. So I'm going to try something new in the new year. So thank you. And I want to dedicate this episode to a friend of mine, a guy named Matt Nelson. He was a writer. He just passed away a couple of days ago from cancer. Cancer is awful. Cancer is shit. Cancer ends your life with pain meds and ice chips. I lost both my parents to it, so many other people, and I'm doing better today, but it really was wearing down on me. Yeah, I've said it before. Many of you have heard my quote to Rick Riley, the awesome sports writer. Rats get fat and good men die. And it's really tiring, man. It's one more time. This guy, Matt, relatively young. I mean, in his 60s, so, he's had a good life. But still, there's so many garbage people still alive. I was joking last week. Everyone was joking last week about Trump and his NFTs, his superhero digital trading cards. Well, guess what? Just like he said, he sold them all, and he made $4 million. $4 million that he probably won't pay taxes on because his tax returns have been released. And as we've seen, he hasn't been paying anything. A couple of years, you can look this up yourself if you want to see it. For a couple of years, he made millions of dollars. And with Trump, you never know how much is true, like how much money he did make or whatever. But according to the report on his tax return, 2016, he made $32 million. Paid $750 in federal tax. 2020, he made $4 million, paid nothing in federal tax. Rats get fat, good men die. It is, it's tiring. It's tiring. I'm not going to do the whole podcast about that. I thought about it, but I will say this to parents. I admire you for the work you do. I admire you for continuing to try to teach your kids what's right, trying to teach your kids about fairness, trying to teach your kids about being good people, because so many garbage people, I mean, our society, more and more you just see garbage people making it. Elon Musk has been the richest man in the world. As you can see from Twitter, many had our suspicions, but once he took over Twitter, we really saw just what a garbage, horrible, misogynistic, racist human being he is. And that's the reward. Richest man in the world. In New York, right? You tell your kids to stay in school, work hard, and they can achieve. But maybe you don't have to do that. New York just elected a Republican congressman named George Santos. And George Santos from Long Island told the story of, he's the American dream. Quote, the full embodiment of the American dream. Said he's the son of Brazilian immigrants. Says he catapulted himself from New York City Public College to become a seasoned Wall Street financier, family-owned real estate portfolio of 13 properties. He has an animal rescue charity that saved more than 2,500 dogs and cats. The New York Times reviewed public documents. Didn't take a lot of work to find out everything he said is a lie. Every single thing he said. Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, who he said he worked for, have no record of him ever working there. Baruch College says they have no record of anyone matching his name or date of birth graduating. His animal rescue group, the Internal Revenue Service, says there's no record of a charity with that name. He claims that his family has $80 million in assets, but there's no clients. Everything he has said is a lie. And you know what his reward is? He's a congressman. That's right. And I don't think you lose the job once they prove you're lying. I don't think so. So that's that. It's tiring. It's tiring. Okay. Am I going to go into this? Yeah. So many of us saw Zelensky's speech yesterday. The president of Ukraine, powerful, passionate, as a friend of mine and I were talking, a true leader versus the egomaniac or narcissist we have, the people who think because I have $1 billion, I can run the world. This guy's out there on the ground doing his thing, and he came to talk about it. And the passion with which he spoke, with which he speaks, is to be admired by most. Then there's the Republicans, led by, of course, now Donald Trump Jr. We don't really care what Donald Trump Jr. has to say because Donald Trump Jr. has done nothing with his life except be the son of Donald Trump and lots of cocaine. Lots of cocaine. Marjorie Taylor Greene spoke up, okay, and of course she's saying that, that they're giving this money. Okay, here's what she said. Mitch McConnell helps pass a $2 trillion omni monster, that's what she calls the budget, so he can hand $47 billion to Zelensky. Quote, but in my district, many families and seniors can't afford food and many businesses are struggling because of Biden policies. Okay, first of all, it's not because of Biden policies. But more importantly, since when has Marjorie Taylor Greene ever cared about anybody in her district? When have you ever heard her even mention them? When have you ever heard of a piece of legislation? Now, I'll tell you what she did do. I'll tell you what Georgia did. When the Affordable Care Act, a.k.a. Obamacare, was passed, they were the ones who said we're turning down the money. So her constituents in rural Georgia have to drive 100 miles to get to a hospital. Why? Because she was going to own the libs. It's like, not only do they not do shit, not only are they bad, they get angry at anyone who does good. Zelensky is fighting against Putin. Now, they're all trained to love Putin because Trump loves Putin and they love Trump. But the truth is, Zelensky is, if you're an American, right, if you believe that whole American dream and freedom and the founding fathers fought against tyranny and blah, 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 if you buy into all of that, how could you not like Zelensky, who is fighting that absolute fight for his people's freedom right now? Instead, you want to take the side of the dictator who's trying to crush them with much larger money and military. Again, garbage people. I'm sure George Santos can't wait to work alongside Marjorie Taylor Greene. And here's another little thing about George Santos. He's gay. So it will be fun to watch him join Marjorie Taylor Greene in voting against any rights for gays or transgenders or anybody else who lives a, quote, alternate lifestyle. All right, enough. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm not going to talk about these people anymore. I'm going to talk about what's going on, how I feel, how you feel. And it's important, okay? Listen, as I said, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. And BetterHelp, the largest therapy service, matched over 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists. Is therapy important? Yeah. I actually, I talked to my therapist about this. I talked a little bit about grief and depression in losing another friend and the emotions that go with that, and how the emotions translate, that grief and depression translates into anger, and how I can deal with it, and so on. That's what it's about. BetterHelp.com is a great way to talk to a therapist. You may not know how to find a therapist. You may feel more comfortable going online than going in person. You may, for whatever reason, not be able to go in person. BetterHelp.com is a great way to get therapy. Listen, mental health is important. Okay? Mental health is important. So what you do, you fill out a brief questionnaire, match you with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can switch to a new therapist. No waiting rooms, like I said, no traffic, etc. You can learn more and save 10% on your first month at betterhelp.com/Alonzo. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Alonzo. So, I want to talk, this is just a personal thing, but this is just an example of how life wears you down and how stupid things are that we have to deal with. So I got a water bill. It was triple my normal water bill. How high was the bill? I'll put it this way. It would be cheaper for me to drink and bathe in gasoline than water with what they charge me. Now, here's the part that you're dealing with a bureaucracy. So what you have to do, what I have to do, now mind you, I live alone. It's just me. And I'm on the road, 8-10 days a month. And I talk to Hulk. I talk to my dog. He hasn't been using excessive amount of water. Now, there's anyway, sorry. The way it works is I have to prove to them that I didn't triple my water use in a month in hopes of getting a credit. There'll be no refund, but there might be a credit on my bill. Now, the house next door, in between my house and the house next door, there was a water leak, and it was water running out onto the street for about 2 days. They had to dig up the street. They had to cap the leak, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if I'm the Department of Water and Power and I see someone's bill triple and I see a water leak or pipes in the street, I would think, that's probably where the water went. Nope, he must have tripled his water use while not being at home. So we're going to bill him for it. So I'm dealing with that. And you know the frustrations of dealing with any bureaucracy. These are the kind of things that just wear you down, okay? Sadly, speaking about mental health, emotion, listen, check on your friends. It's the holidays. Make the call. Don't think about making a call. Make the call. Don't think about sending a text. Send a text. As we all know, Twitch, the dancer, DJ, famous from the Ellen Show and so many other things, committed suicide. This is a guy who had family, beautiful family, money, a career, everything on the outside looked great, and he chose to end his own life because of what's going on in the inside. Reach out. The holidays are a weird time. I'm good with them, okay? I got my little Charlie Brown tree. It's well over 2 feet tall. I think it might reach 3 feet. Hulk hasn't eaten it, so that's a good thing. I'll have a nice Christmas. It'll be quiet, but I like quiet. I hope you have a beautiful holiday. Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, however you celebrate. I hope you enjoy it. And I really hope, honestly, that you take some time for yourself. And I know that's easier said than done. We have responsibilities. We have financial concerns. We have demands on our time. But really, just stop. Remember the pandemic? Remember when we had to stop? Now, taking away the stress of maybe no income, etc. And I know this is not minor. I know that's a big stress. But there were moments for me, and I hope for you, where I just enjoyed the quiet, where we couldn't run in circles doing, burning energy and not getting anything done. And it was just quiet. Take one of those moments. I really do. I appreciate you guys for listening to my podcast. I appreciate your support. I've been touring with Wait, Don't Tell Me, doing those live comedy shows. They've been a blast. Shout out to Raleigh, Tampa, and especially Atlanta, where we did the last show, and it was like a rock venue, and the show was just awesome. I love my job. I am lucky enough to have a job that I absolutely love. and that's what being a comic is. And finally, I want to talk to you about something that I read, because this was actually really cool, especially now with the way life is and people being shitty. We're not all shitty. A lot of good people. This was 66 unwritten rules that make life better, make life a bit clearer. It's on a site called Bored Panda. Bored Panda is pretty interesting. If you get a minute, check it out. Okay, and it's just simple things that we need to know. I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm going to go through a few. Number one, be kind to people that are working. Food staff, medical staff, etc. It's simple, but it makes a difference. Number two, here's a holiday one. Just because someone's family, it doesn't mean they're a good person. This is one I need to remember right now. And it's funny to have a picture of Jeff Bezos with this. Horrible people won't always be punished for hurting others, and that sucks. It's just got a bunch of these. Oh, here's one. Wow. Could they broadcast this to America? Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, are you listening? Rule 6, don't have strong opinions about something you know nothing about. Here's a simple one. You must say, ooh, big stretch, when a dog starts stretching. It's the law. And there's so many more of these. Here's some relationship advice. If they will cheat with you, they will cheat on you. Call the Kardashians. Don't leave your shopping cart in the middle of the grocery aisle. I'm going to tag that with don't leave your shopping cart in the middle of the parking lot. What are you, an animal? Are you crazy? Okay? Just don't do it. If you're borrowing it for the third time, you need one of your own. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know how this is number 19 and not number 1. Social media isn't reality. Yeah, we could learn that. Oh, here's a good one. If a child waves, you wave back. If a child says hello, you say hello back. If a child calls you on an imaginary handheld telephone, you take the call on your imaginary handheld telephone. That would be good. Don't put your music in speakers in a public space. These are all such good ones. So many of these are good. Nothing will come from making someone feel horrible about themselves. Yeah, except maybe you'll get elected to Congress. Before you enter an elevator, let other people out first. You'd think people know that, but they don't. And on and on. There's just some great things here. Simple rules that used to apply to our society, but no longer do. Number 33, not pointing out flaws in someone's physical appearance. And so on. Oh man, can I get a shirt that says this? If someone has headphones on in public, do not talk to them. And on and on. And a simple one. Always leave an area better than you found it. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. Take care, be good to yourself. Find something to laugh about at least once a day. And if you're really in doubt as to what to do, get a dog. Best thing you could ever do. I love you guys. Who's paying attention? You are. And you have been for years. So thank you. Keep laughing. And I'll see you out there.